Welcome everybody to Embracing Life in Issaquah. I'm your co-host, Chris Angel, and I'm here with your host, Rebecca Kuno-Scott. Rebecca, hello.
Hi.
Welcome to your show.
I'm excited to be here. Excited to be here.
I know. I love it. Well, we've worked together for a long time, and I'm excited that you are bringing this message of embracing life to your community that you live in. Just out of curiosity, I don't think I should know this. How long have you lived in Issaquah?
I have actually been in Issaquah for close to 15 years.
Whoa.
And I've been in the Northwest, Pacific Northwest since 1993.
I love it. And just so everybody knows, like, you're a real estate agent, yes, in the area?
Yes, almost 20 years now.
Really? Hey, we're on the same path. I mean, well, I'm not a real estate agent anymore, but connected to the industry for a long time. I think what I love about this, and maybe you can, maybe for backstory for people listening to this, like, I think what I love is that you're a real estate agent who's kind of coming from a different angle with how you want to connect with your community. I think so many agents kind of send postcards and say, come to my open house. And while those things are fine, I think that there's a lot more an agent can do to connect the community to itself. And I feel like that's sort of what we talked about when we talked about this show. Like, just talk to me more about your vision for this show and what you want to see happen in the community.
Yeah, great question, Chris. So a little bit of an oxymoron here in that part of the reason I want to do this show and how I approach my business is I want my business to be much more personal. I think in this day and age, there's so much that has taken place with social media that we're bombarded with all this information, and yet we feel more disconnected than ever. And so it's a little bit of an oxymoron. That's not quite the right word I'm looking for, but you get the idea, to be using a social media platform to then combat the social media issue that I see is becoming pervasive in our society. But my thought is, I am all about authenticity. And I love the community that I live in. It has helped me through the neighborhood in particular that I'm in. Surrounded me when I was going through some really difficult and challenging times in my life. And I have seen the same group of community rally around other people when they go through struggles. And I think that's how we combat feeling disconnected. And so that's a key principle to what I want to bring to the table. And so I want to get to know people. And so I thought this was a good platform for me to put myself out there, for them to get a sense of who I am. And if it's a match, it's a match. Great. On a real estate side of things, I know what I'm doing. I've been doing it for almost 20 years, and I really enjoy that. And I'm all about connecting people and leading with a helping hand. Yeah,
I love it. Well, I think this will be a really fun way to do that. I totally get the oxymoron of, using digital media to, like, in a day and age when digital media is just like overwhelmed. But I think that, like, we're all on our devices, and I think what we're looking for is just relevant social media, right? Not like, we don't need more social media, but we want more relevant social media. And I feel like whenever you are bringing up the community that you live in, like, that's relevant. And so, I don't think there's another show that deals with Issaquah. So, I mean, kudos to you. I'm excited for the value that you get to add. And as you add that value, people will get to know you. So what are some of the things, like, when we talk about the brand of Embracing Life in Issaquah, like, what are some of the topics that you see using the show to talk about?
To me, it's really a wide array of things. And so there's going to be a lot of variety. Sometimes it's talking about things on a personal level and just embracing the little things in life and how that can make a huge difference in pulling somebody through when they're kind of in a gloomy spot, right? That can be one aspect. Another aspect of embracing life is obviously getting out and participating in community events. Issaquah has a ton of excellent community events that are really fun. Most of them are very family friendly. And if you are like single or just whatever stage of life you're in, a lot of the community events really aren't just for families, but for everybody. Yeah. So that's another way to embrace life and get out there and embrace community. Another thing I want to talk about is getting outdoors and embracing connecting with the environment. And there's so many different places in Issaquah that are just steps from the doorstep to get out, from biking trails to Lake Sammamish to skiing that's 30 minutes away, and talking about those kinds of experiences.
Yeah.
So there's really a wide gamut of what that means to me.
I know too, you're a great mom, and it's one of the things that you do really well. And I think Issaquah, I mean, I used to live in Gig Harbor, now I live in Spokane, but I think when I think of Issaquah, I think of a place where I'd want to raise my kids, and I can think of parenting and family as a conversation that we can bring into the show as well. I know we've talked about that.
Most definitely. That's a huge part of who I am, and definitely have some thoughts on it.
Yeah.
And I think that we all can learn from each other, right?
Yeah.
There's no guidebook to being a parent, and great platform to throw some ideas out there and hopefully get feedback back from people on things I haven't thought of.
I think too, I'm excited for this. I'll be curious to see as the show unfolds and we go down the road. If you want to bring guests on the show, but I would love to see whether it's businesses or other parents, anybody that can talk about the things you want to talk about. I think it'll be really fun to have people participate in the show. So
definitely. I actually already have a couple of people in mind that I think have a valuable message to share.
Yeah.
So definitely.
I love it
for that.
Well, those of you listening to this, I mean, if you, as you start to follow the show more and you have different people you think that Rebecca should interview, or you think you have something that you'd like to share out to the community of Issaquah, like reach out to Rebecca for sure, and just have a conversation and see if it's a fit.
Definitely. I love the idea from businesses of supporting some of our small local businesses in the area. And we've got some really incredible ones, some incredible small independent restaurants.
Yeah.
Everything. So
I love it. Yeah. If you're a small business in Issaquah, reach out to Rebecca so you can get interviewed and highlight your business more. I love that. That's so good. I think also, and I just want to bring this up. I think you are to the authenticity thing. I know that you're very careful with your brand to not feel like you're pushy and over the top marketing in people's faces. And what I think I love about, so first of all, I love that because I think we're all sick of the overly self-promoting marketing attempts, but I feel like using a show like this the reality is you do have a backstage pass to some of the things that are very important for us, like real estate. Yes. So whether it's tips about selling, what's happening in the market, how to even just interior design and decorating and things and setting up our houses the right way. You do have valuable perspective that a lot of us don't have. So I'm hoping that you'll bring that to the show as well.
Definitely would love to talk about that. I actually, one of my favorite aspects of what I get to do when I am working with a client is helping them prepare their home for sale. Yeah. And that skill actually of staging a home doesn't have to be limited to just when you're putting a home on a market. There's ways that you can refresh the design within your home. And I'm a big proponent. I am a budget girl all the way. Nice. And so I'm really good at looking at something and learning how to repurpose something or just shift things around. And it really makes a space feel different. And that's totally applicable even if you're not moving. It just gives you a sense of freshness to your space. And that's embracing the space we live in, I think, is important too. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, I think that's why shows like or even networks like HGTV are so popular, because we're all curious about the homes we live in. Like this is like, we paid for the house we're living in, and we want it to feel, we want to be able to embrace that.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Embrace it. Embracing life in our homes in Issaquah. That's perfect. I love it. I love it. Well, any other last minute thoughts you want to give people as sort of an intro to the entire series of the show?
It's just going to kind of unfold organically. I'm all about authenticity and being very organic. And so For those of you joining in and watching, you're going to get to watch this unfold as it's created, and definitely love the idea of feedback for anybody who's out there watching.
Yep.
Would love to take your direction and hear about things you'd love to talk about.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it in a nutshell. It's going to be exciting to see how it unfolds.
Yeah. I think that's great because I think that's how it is with community. Like when it's not there was a guy years ago, his name's Seth Godin, and he used to say like, don't market at people and don't market to people, market with them and for them. And I think when you're doing stuff with your community, things just kind of organically unfold. And I think that's the beauty of a vehicle like the show is we have a chance to kind of connect with the community and see where it goes. So awesome stuff. This is a great first episode, Rebecca. If people want to connect with you to ask about your show, they want to be on your show, they have somebody that they think should be on your show, what's the great place to reach you?
Best place to reach me for right now is either on my Facebook page, Embracing Life in Issaquah, or of course you can always give me a ring or a text at 425-395-4573.
Rebecca, thanks for putting the show together. I can't wait to go host more of these episodes with you. And until then, see ya.
Thanks, Chris.